All right, welcome to another deep dive. And wow, you guys weren't kidding around with this one. We've got Heather Cox Richardson in here, The Guardian, some Brian Stelter, even the big guns like the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal. You really want to get into disinformation, huh? How it's affecting government agencies and even, well, Elon Musk seems to be in the mix too. Ready to go.
Let's do it. This is going to be a dense one for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. The Guardian, right off the bat, they kind of dropped this bomb about the Trump administration. They're messing with Google search results, making it look like there are these huge deportation raids happening.
Yeah, this is classic disinformation, right?
Okay.
It's all about playing with people's perceptions. They're using these old press releases and basically gaming Google's system. So at the top of your search, bam, ICE raids everywhere, even if it's not really what's happening.
So they're just trying to scare everyone.
Basically, it feeds into this existing anxiety, See ICE raids all the time online. You start thinking it's way worse than it is.
Makes you wonder if you can trust anything you see online anymore.
Right. It's a good reminder to think critically, double check your sources, all that.
Okay, so we've got this like manufactured fear going on. Then Stelter comes in with all these wild claims flying around the Magie world. USAA giving out condoms to Hamas, blaming diversity for plane crashes, even saying Politico's getting secret government cash. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is where you see the disinformation playbook in action. They take a little bit of truth, mix in a whole lot of exaggeration, maybe some outright lies. People want to believe things that already fit their worldview. Right. So if you make it sound kind of believable, well, it sticks.
Like they're building their own reality.
Exactly. And the damage. Huge. People stop trusting real news. Everyone gets more divided. It's hard to even have a normal conversation anymore.
And then we've got Elon Musk. He's jumping in on some of this too, right? Especially that whole USAI Politico thing.
It's interesting. I mean, when does sharing something become, pushing an agenda? Musk has such a huge platform. Whatever he says, people listen.
And this isn't just online noise. It has real-world consequences like USAID, the FBI. They're taking a hit from all this.
Absolutely. Look at the FBI's Foreign Influence Task Force.
Yeah.
Gone. This was their weapon against election meddling, and poof, it's gone. That's a big deal. Like just inviting countries like China to come mess with us.
And then there's that whole FRA thing, the Foreign Agents Registration Act. They're not enforcing it as much anymore. What's that all about?
So FRA makes people working for foreign governments, like lobbyists and stuff, register, be transparent. If you weaken it, it's basically letting foreign powers operate in the shadows, maybe even influence our policies without us knowing.
It's more than just budget cuts, right?
Yeah.
This is weakening our defenses, making us vulnerable.
Exactly. It creates the perfect breeding ground for all this disinformation we've been talking about. And this whole trust issue, it's not just domestic. Think about the Panama Canal thing.
Oh, yeah. The State Department said Panama was cool with letting U.S. ships pass through for free, and Panama's like, no, we didn't. Pretty embarrassing.
See, it's all connected. What's happening here at home is affecting how the whole world sees us.
So disinformation spreading, agencies getting weaker. Where does Elon Musk fit into all of this?
Well, he's not just repeating things, right?
Yeah.
There's this push to privatize stuff, and he's right there leading the charge.
Like with air traffic control, he's basically saying the government's doing a terrible job and his companies can do it better.
On the surface, maybe that sounds good. But then you think about it. Conflict of interest, no transparency. Do we really want private companies controlling something that important?
It's kind of ironic. He's always complaining about how inefficient the government is, but the solutions he's pushing, they all benefit him directly.
Exactly. And let's be real, his track record isn't perfect.
Yeah, all those Tesla accidents, that SpaceX rocket blowing up.
Oh, and remember that engineer who quit because Musk was, promoting some pretty disturbing views.
It makes you wonder, Ray. Is he the guy we want making all these big decisions? What happens when the people who are supposed to be fixing things are actually the ones tearing them down?
That's the question, isn't it? Back again. We covered a lot in that first part. Kind of scary stuff, really.
Yeah, no kidding. So we've got this disinformation, government's getting weaker, and
Yes.
Elon Musk wanting to privatize everything. But, what does that actually mean for people? How does it affect us day to day?
Right. That's the big question. It's hard to see sometimes how it all plays out, But when you don't trust anyone, when all the dues is messed up, it makes everything shaky. You can't make good decisions, can't hold anyone accountable. It's like, what are we even supposed to believe anymore?
So it's like everything slowly falls apart.
Pretty much.
Right.
And the people in charge, the ones who benefit from all this,
Yeah.
that's what they want. Confused people, divided people, that's easy to control. It's always been that way.
Man, that's depressing. So is there anything we can even do? Besides, like, chuck our phones in a river and hide in the woods.
Haha. Hiding does sound nice sometimes. Oh. But seriously, there are things we can do. First, we got to be smarter about the information we're getting. Don't just believe everything you see online, especially if it's coming from someone with an agenda.
Fact check everything.
Pretty much, yeah. Find good sources, check different places, and if something sounds too good to be true or too crazy, it probably is.
Like we have to be detectives or something.
Exactly. And here's another thing. We got to check our own biases. We all have them. It makes us easy targets for disinformation.
Yeah, it's easy to just listen to people who already agree with you.
Totally. We got to listen to different opinions, even stuff we don't like. That's how we learn, right?
Okay, so we got to think critically and be open-minded. Check. What else can we do to fight back? How do we protect ourselves and make sure things don't get worse?
We got to support the people who are fighting for the truth, donate to real journalism, get involved in local politics, speak up when something's wrong. Even small things help.
It's like that butterfly thing, right?
Yeah.
One little flap of the wings can cause a hurricane across the world.
Exactly. Yeah. And remember, you're not alone in this. There are tons of people out there who care, who are working to protect our democracy and stuff.
So we got to find those people, right? Team up.
Exactly. There's power in numbers. Together, we can make a difference.
Okay, that's a little more hopeful. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, like nothing matters, but you're right, we got to work together.
It's easy to feel like, what can I do? I'm just one person. But that's what the bad guys want us to think. They want us to give up.
So we got to take back our power. Like, remember, we're the citizens. We're the ones in charge, in theory.
Exactly. Because if we don't participate, if we don't hold people accountable, our democracy's screwed. We've seen how they're using disinformation to mess with us, to make us distrust everything. So how do we fix that? How do we trust again? How do we make sure our voices are heard?
That's the million-dollar question. And I think that's what we need to dig into now.
Yeah, that's where things get really interesting. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about in the last part of this deep dive.
All right, we're back. And man, this has been intense. Disinformation, government stuff, Elon Musk.
Yeah, we went deep down the rabbit hole, didn't we? From like sneaky search engine tricks to this whole breakdown of trust. But the big question is,
how do we fix it? Seriously, it feels like we're trying to unscramble an egg here.
It's a tough one, no doubt. But remember all that stuff about working together, collective action. That's the key.
Okay, but what does that look like, practically speaking? What can we actually do?
Well, first we got to make our information system stronger, support good journalism, fact-checking, teach people how to spot fake news.
So it's like giving people the tools to be smarter about what they're reading and seeing online, being able to tell what's real and what's not.
That's it. It's not about silencing people or anything like that. It's about making sure the truth actually matters, like leveling the playing field.
Yeah, but that's only one part, right? There's got to be something about the system itself. Like, why are we so vulnerable to all this in the first place?
Absolutely. We got to fix how we do elections, make the government more transparent. And honestly, those social media companies, they need to be held responsible for the crap they allow to spread. We need a system that's harder to manipulate, that actually works for people.
Man, these are huge EE problems. They've been around forever. How do we even start to change all that?
It starts with us. We got to talk to each other, even when we disagree. Hold our politicians accountable. Vote in every single election, even the small ones. Make our voices heard. Not just online, but in our communities,
So it's about being involved, not just watching it all happen.
Exactly. And this isn't a quick fix. This is going to take time, effort, commitment. But if we don't give up, if we keep pushing, we can actually make things better for everyone.
That's a good message, actually. It's easy to get cynical, to feel helpless, but we do have some power.
We do. We're not just puppets, What we do, what we choose, it actually shapes the future.
So as you keep learning about all this stuff, remember that. You're not powerless. You have a voice, and you can use it to make a difference.
This whole fight for truth, for democracy, it never ends. We got to be paying attention. We got to be involved.
Well said. And on that note, I think we're going to wrap up this deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged.